Hey, what's good guys? This is Chris from WearTesters.com. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on these guys right here. This is the brand new Trunner or Training Runner. Always kind of confusing, but I always have loved the name. From Jordan brand, these guys are called the Jordan Trunner LT, kind of a derivative of the Trunner NXT. And with that being said, let's go ahead. So first things first, big thank you to Jordan brand for sending these our way. We greatly appreciate it. I always like trying new stuff, and it's definitely interesting trying the newest Trunner, because the Trunner for me has always been a shoe where a lot of people just don't like it, but I've always kind of been like, at least as a kid, I wanted Jordan everything. So when they introduced the Trunner, they introduced all these lifestyle shoes along with the retro and the game shoe. I was always like, man, this is amazing. If you wanted to be decked out from head to toe in Jordan brand, right around 1999, 1998, 99, that was the time when they started really pushing that kind of stuff. And it was really awesome. Nowadays, these types of things, these types of shoes are not well respected or even well received usually, but they do still pack in a lot of performance within the shoe. So I think that that's always interesting, and it's always something nice to look at. Now visually, I don't think that these are aesthetically pleasing, no offense to anyone, but what I mean by nice to look at is I'm interested in trying them out because it's got tech in there that I absolutely love. And that tech is Nike's React foam cushioning, and that's what the entire midsole is. This is kind of Jordan brand's version of, what's the shoe called? I always get it confused. Is it the Vapor Fly and then there's a 4% one, or is it, the name is 4%?
I think 4% is just what people have shortened it to.
I cannot remember. There's so many different types of products through Nike running that it's like really hard to keep track of everything. But this is kind of like their version of that, but for Jordan brand people. So if you're, a Jordan head or whatever it is that you want to call yourself, then this is for you, versus wearing like a Nike or an Adidas Ultra Boost or something like that. And again, the entire midsole is full length React. It is super comfortable, just like the Epic React. It's got a lot of squish to it, permanent creasing, which I think is fine. A lot of people complain about that. I don't know. I do not understand the complaints about creasing. It's like, did you want to wear a brick? Because if you do, they make bricks. You can always stick your foot in there. But I always find it funny. It's like, oh, I don't want my shoes to crease. I don't want my cushion to crease. It's just like, okay, but you want them to be comfortable. Now, right off the bat, the first thing that I want to do is compare the feel of the React to something like this, and this is the React Havoc. This shoe right here is mad comfortable, and these feel just like the Epic Reacts. The main difference between these and those is that they put a 4-foot Zoom Air unit in these, which makes them even bouncier in the 4-foot than the Epic React, which I think is crazy. These guys right here, there is no zoom in them. For that, you're going to get a much smoother ride, like a more consistent ride. These guys right here have that smoothness until you hit the toe, and then it's got like a springy effect. This guy does not have that. It's just kind of more of a plush feel. Now the upper on these compared to the Havoc React is a lot more forgiving as well. That shoe fits very narrow. It also fits very snug. It's got a one size fits all type of feel because it's an entire sock style shoe. This guy right here has a traditional tongue. So if you have a wide foot, this is probably going to be the shoe that you're going to want to go for, or at least try on, versus the Havoc React, which is again like a neoprene style, like sock like fit. Now the difference between this version of the shoe and the NXT version is the upper. The NXT has a different style, kind of like a textile upper and all that stuff. It looks more like a jacquard or like a performance woven. This guy right here is just a basic mesh, and then you can kind of see the underlays, which is the structured support section of the upper. And so for that, they've made this shoe a little bit lighter, hence the LT, which means light. And then it's also a little bit cheaper. So these guys run about $100 instead of the other ones, which I can't remember what they retail for, but I do know that they were a little bit more expensive. But you get the same exact performance as the other ones, just again, a lighter package, a little bit less retail. There is a all black colorway that I've seen of these that are already marked down over at like Finish Lines. I think you have to add them to cart to see what the actual price is, but they're on discount right now.
Excellent.
The outsole right here is, I think, a good thing for people that do running and training, because a lot of current, especially the modern Flyknit Epic Reacts, they have very little rubber on there. They're taking a lot of rubber off because that's what really adds a lot of extra weight, but rubber also adds durability. And so with that, you have a full length rubber outsole right here. You do have some cutouts for it so that you can have that kind of like that stretch and all that stuff with the material, so it doesn't feel too bulky. But I remember back in the day when I used to run with you, I used to run in like the Pegasus and all that stuff, and I don't remember the number of them, but I think it was like they were in the 20s or something like that. So it was a long time ago, because aren't they on like 30 something now?
36.
Yeah, so it was about 10 years ago. But I used to run in the old Pegasus. Super comfortable shoe, always has been, probably always will be, at least I hope so. But that shoe always had a ton of rubber on the bottom, and it was something that I always liked because it lasted forever. And then somewhere down the line, 10 years later, they've really just, those Epic Reacts are like the main one where it's like, where did the rubber go? It's mostly foam. These guys don't do that. Again, full length rubber outsole. It's not super thick, like the lugs aren't super thick or anything like that, but it's better than nothing. And if you're comparing them again to something like this, which this even has more rubber than the Epic React, but the lugs on this are thicker than this. So again, a little bit more durable here, strangely enough, because it's a cheaper shoe. Sometimes price isn't reflective of what you're getting. Sometimes you're just paying for the name. Now, one of the more interesting pieces of the shoe is this weird diamond cage right here. They've not only applied this to this shoe, but they also applied it to one of their basketball shoes, which was called the Jordan Jumpman Diamond. There's a mid and a low. All of these shoes actually were designed by Tinker Hatfield, which is pretty cool. He doesn't do too much anymore. I mean, he does certain things. He's not like the main guy over at Jordan Brand anymore. He's kind of taking a step back, nearing retirement, it seems. But it's got this weird cage on it. That's the part that I don't like. I think it looks super weird. I don't like it on either of the shoes. I don't like it on these or the Jumpman Diamonds. I am curious about performance, obviously, so the aesthetics don't matter too much. But if we are going to talk about aesthetics, which is a personal thing, so just because you like them or don't doesn't mean that I have to agree with you, and vice versa. So don't take this personally for all you softies out there. But what that cage is supposed to do is lessen the compression a little bit, so it's got a little bit of lateral stability. This is a lot of React. It's a lot of bounce to it, a lot of soft or plushness. So with that, you don't want to crash down on these things and then boom, just roll your ankle and stuff like that. So that's what this is supposed to be for. Again, another thing that I don't like aesthetically is this weird, I call it a dinosaur foot, but we've also have pegged this. If you just look at this part, isn't that like very similar to the Fire Nation symbol?
Yes, Hotman.
Flameo, Hotman!
Hello, Hotman. Now, one more aspect that they added on these guys for some extra lightweight capabilities or whatever is right on the tongue. It's my favorite material of all time. It's ripstop. Yes. That's sarcasm. A lot of people don't understand sarcasm. It's a lost art. But you have a mixture between ripstop and basic mesh. It's lightweight, it's strong, it's also ventilated. I don't mind it right here because it's not the whole shoe. That would be such a bummer if this whole thing was a ripstop. Watch them release a pair just like that. I bet you.
Next week.
Yeah, there's gonna be a colorway where the whole shoe is ripstop. But I don't mind the ripstop stuff right there. I don't mind it in moderation. I just find it oversaturated where it's like when every shoe from every brand is ripstop, I'm like, can we go back to leather? Now, if you were interested in grabbing a pair of these, they do fit true to size, so that's what I would go with. However, if you're running in a pair or training in a pair and you like a little bit of wiggle room in the toe, I would go up half a size. That includes wide footers and normal footers alike, because my feet in these things are like right at the tip of everything and all that stuff, which is how I like my stuff to fit casually and everything, and usually performance-wise as well. But a lot of people like to have a little bit of wiggle room, especially if you are running in these. You want some room for toe splaying, and also so that your toes aren't like beating up the front and then you get black toes and all that. And that pretty much takes care of it for these guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you guys think about these down below in the comment section. Are you feeling them? Are you not? A lot of people just aren't. I already know. They're just not. I get it. It's not a hype beast shoe. You slap a Supreme logo on these though, changes everything. But sound off below, let us know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. And until next time, guys, have a good one. I am actually curious about the weight, like how light are they? Because they feel fairly similar in hand. So the Havoc React is 9.24 ounces, which is a very light shoe. According to runners, it's not that light. And then these are, they're the same exact weight, 9.24.
Wow.
Hold on, I gotta do that again. That might be wrong. 9.24. Okay, so these weigh exactly the same, 9.24 ounces. That's pretty interesting. These feel a little heavier.
Maybe it's just...
It's like the weight's probably distributed a little bit differently.
Although I would think that this part here would be the heavy side, and it seems like the front's.
It's like the thicker the foam gets, the lighter it gets. It's super weird. React is such a trippy kind of thing because the first shoes that it was introduced in were the basketball shoes.
Yes.
And it was the, sorry, ASMR. I know people are gonna either hate that or love that, my bad. They were introduced in the Hyperdunk 2017 and the Superfly 17. Both of those shoes were super solid all the way around except for the React. And like the React felt so bad in there.
What they were trying to show off didn't work.
It was the main feature, yeah. You created a super comfortable foam and let nobody feel it. I don't see how, with all of the wear testing that they do, both from athletes and from regular people, not one person said, this doesn't feel right.
They were all drinking the Kool-Aid.
I guess, man. Like, it was so weird because I felt like I was the only one where, like, when I put them on, I was like, what the f is this thing? These things are hella hard. And then the first runner, it was these, wasn't it? Oh my God, these are chewed up.
I know. I brought them out so you guys could see the traction.
That looks like an animal got to it.
I run in my stuff.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, that's crazy because it's like all of the wear is everywhere but the rubber. And obviously, like, foot strikes for every person's different, so this is case by case scenario. But as far as this person goes, this outsole, even this outsole,
Yeah, I could have used
all of that extra stuff. So when they first introduced React on this shoe, I was like, nah, it ain't gonna, because they ruined it for me with the basketball shoes. And then when I got these in and I tried them on, I was like, this is what they were talking about? This is awesome.
They learned that they can't cage it in.
Yeah,
It needs to roam free.
That's the thing though, is that like Adidas learned that real quickly.
I feel like this shoe is made for a very specific niche.
I don't know how you say it. I always say niche.
But
fancy people say niche.
Niche. As a runner, I'm not going to pick that up because I want a running shoe. But
This
you're
is a running
saying that
shoe.
it's for training and running.
Well, that's just what they label it as. Like I was actually talking to somebody at the brand and they feel like this particular person should go nameless. They were saying, because this is the shoe that he loves to run in. He was saying like the Trunner name, it signifies running and training, so you could do more than just one thing in it. It's like a cross trainer, but for Jordan brand. And for whatever reason, when Nike says trainer, everybody's like, cool, I'll go to the gym, I'll go to the treadmill, I'll go to the track, I'll, hit the court. And then when Jordan brand does it, everybody's like, Trunner, what is that? Don't get it twisted. This is a running shoe. This is a technical runner, just like this.
But both of these, I believe, are shoes that I would never get to try anyways because they don't make them small enough.
That I actually don't know.
These ones were just for men's,
okay,
I
this
believe.
I don't know what the size range is on these. If they are just for men, I feel like that's a bummer. People should be trying these out, but people will, you know what I'm saying?
These are much more easy on the eyes. I even
Well,
saw somebody in Starbucks wearing them this morning.
Yeah, I do think that these are better looking. It's this thing. And all that.
I could get past this. It's this. I wish they had like sloped it back in or something.
The way that they do it with the Pegasus is cleaner. Where it's still there, but it's very minimal.
When you had been comparing this to a dinosaur foot, do you know what came to me? Do you remember that show with the baby dinosaur that would say not the mama?
Yeah.
Yeah, that show is like
Not the mama, not the mama.
instantly
see,
in
'cause
my head.
As soon as you brought it up right now, I don't know why, but this theme song came into my head and I can't even remember the words to it, but something, the last dinosaur, I don't remember what show it was.
Watch, it's the same show.
No, because I remember dinosaurs. I used to watch that show. That show was on like TGIF or something. Not the mama, not the mama. Was it Denver the Last Dinosaur? Yeah, it was. Yeah, Denver the Last Dinosaur. I don't know why the theme song just jumped into my head, but we're gonna rock out for a second. Yo, the 90s were epic, man. I'm sorry.